How am I able to save about 4 grand every month without insane work hours and also while working in freaking paradise? Yes, I know this video starts off very different to my usual videos and also it sounds insanely clickbaity, but hey, it's true. So instead of exploring a bunch of foreign places like in my usual videos, I'll talk about the job that I've been doing for the last 3 months, because working here not only helped me saving up a bunch of money for my further travels, but also I made plenty of good friends and had some incredible experiences along the way. Yes, we made it to the mini bungalow, and this is probably one of the coolest places to talk more about my job, what I do, what I earn, how many hours I do, how my workmates are, and all of these things. But before we do all that, let's get the drone up and check out this incredible coastline because it is freaking amazing. So let's start off with where do I work actually and where do I make my money? So I work at Eco Beach Wilderness Retreat, which is a remote resort that is about 135 kilometers away from Broome in kind of the most northern part of Western Australia. And this place counts as work in a remote area, so you could actually tick off your 88 days here if you want it. We have everything from, let's say, very basic kind of tents to villas to actual big beach houses, which cost quite a lot of money if you want to stay in one of them, but you have the most beautiful view over the ocean. But what do I do actually to earn my money? I'm one of the bar and front of house members, and also I'm one of the fishing guides. So I pretty much do 50-50. It depends on the weeks, how many fishing tours we have or how many bar shifts are available. But of course, bar comes with all the things, mixing drinks, making coffees. Front of house comes with serving people. It's a very average hospitality job. And I actually said to myself when I came out to Australia that I wouldn't be doing hospitality because I have a uni degree, I have plenty of work experience in marketing, and going back to hospitality really felt a bit like a downgrade because that was the kind of job that I was doing back home in my school and uni years. And I gotta say, I didn't fall in love again with hospitality. I know why at some point I said I've done enough hospitality in my life and I'd rather do something else. But if you feel like this, that's not the only job they have available, because where there's a bar and a restaurant, there's also people needed to be in kitchens. So most of us are actually backpackers that work here. We're around 25 people, and there's some of us working in kitchen, there is some of us working in maintenance, because a vast resort like this one, which has plenty of tents and villas, there's always something that breaks, that needs to be fixed, there's something that needs to be redone, whatever. So we have a maintenance team, and of course this is something for the people who probably studied engineering back home or who are just handyman and really good at fixing things. But that's not all, because also we have a big housekeeping team, because there's plenty of beds that need to be made every day. So if you rather want to work in housekeeping, it's definitely also an option. Then there's of course a reception team. So all of our people that work in reception, they typically studied something like tourism back home and they do the hands-on work here at reception. Then there's 2 jobs which are probably not very typical, but still you could do them as a backpacker. For one, that would be our spa. So we have a spa, we do spa treatments like facials, like massages and all these kinds of things. And we do have backpackers working in the spa as well. Because if you're probably an educated masseuse back home, if you have worked in beauty or in any kind of spa salons or beauty salons, then this could very much be a job that you could do as well. And then there's one last job that I'm actually so happy I could secure as a part-time position here, and that is my work as a fishing guide. And my job is to get people into a off-road mule, and then we go along the beach for about 12 kilometers on the most beautiful drive you could ever imagine. And this is where I show people how to fish if they're total beginners, or this is where I give them occasional help if they are not really beginner fishers, but sometimes they still need help with some of the things. And if they're pro fishers, I'll let them go fish, and sometimes I'll just take a fishing rod myself and I go fishing up there. And that's the most amazing job, and I'm so happy that I can actually do that and I'm getting paid for this kind of job. So this is pretty much the job variety that Eco Beach offers to backpackers but also seasonal workers from Australia. None of these jobs typically you get without any kind of experience. If you have a CV that matches one of these job positions here, you can very much apply to be part of the Eco team for next year. And since this video has a pretty clickbaity title, let's of course talk about how much I earn here and how much I have to work for per month to save about 4,000 Australian dollars. We at Eco Beach collectively earn kind of the same wage, and now probably comes the surprising part, because if you have some experience with the hourly wages in Australia, you know that some people earn a massive amount per hour. That is typical in the engineering kind of jobs. If you have a digger ticket or whatever kind of big machinery ticket, these people earn $55, $60, maybe even $65 an hour. And we don't earn quite as much. So what we do is just shy of $37 per hour. And that doesn't sound all that much, does it? But now comes the cool part about it. And that is our food and accommodation costs. I pay just over $400 a month for food and accommodation, and that makes this job so great. So let's count this all up. I don't do the equation by every dollar now. I want to say on average, if you work 45 hours a week-ish, you go home with a fortnightly pay of $2,500-ish, and that is after the deduction of everything. So your super funds, your taxes, your accommodation and your food deducted from that. So if you want to have a target of you want to save $4,000 a month, you could actually spend $500 every 2 weeks, which is a good amount of beer or booze or whatever discounted cocktails that we get at our bar, or some really nice groceries from the supermarket, and you still be at your target goal of $4,000 a month. And I know that there's people out there probably watching this and going like, oh, there's more money to be made somewhere else. I actually do 6K or 8K or whatever working in the mines. Yes, it is. But then look at the hours, because some of the people that I know who are working in the mines, they do more absolute money than I do, but they work 60 hours a week. And they're in a remote place that is not nearly as beautiful as this one. And they barely have any life apart from their work because they work such long days or nights. And now I want to tell you why I think working here is so much better than actually working in the mines, even if you miss out on the occasional couple of hundreds or maybe $1,000 a month. And for that, I think we just have to change scenery to show you something else. Once we're somewhere else, I talk you through why this place offers such a good experience and such a good time actually working here. So let's go. Well, that is a bit of a change of scenery now, isn't it? So green around me. Well, I'm obviously not in Broome anymore, because when I said I was going to change positions, I wanted to do the rest of this video on that day just at a different part of the beach, but it got so windy that I couldn't, and after that I was so busy that I couldn't film anything anymore really. But let's cut the crap and get straight into it. So the reason why I think a place like Eco Beach is so much better to work at while you're here in Australia than, for example, the mines is pretty simple. You do less hours and you're in a nicer place to actually enjoy your time that you spend away from work. While most of my friends who worked in mines told me that all they do is go into the gym, probably swim in a crappy ass little pool, or drink a lot of beer, I'm not gonna lie, spending some money on alcohol was definitely one of our preferred activities as well. But apart from that, we got to enjoy this beautiful place on so many different occasions. Like there was this one day where we just decided we were going to take out our off-road mule and also our troop carrier to Sunset Point, which is this kind of cliff formation that is about a 10 minutes drive. No one else gets there, and it's the most picture perfect place to watch the incredible WA sunset. But that's not the only thing. When there was things going on in Broome, you could just go there. Like this one day when there was a fair taking place in Broome, and we just decided, okay, let's go as a group. So everyone who was off that day just went to Broome, and we had a lot of fun on the fair they had there. Got it all on camera. Thanks, mate. Oh, I'm so happy. If you have 25-ish staff around the same age on the same site, there's always someone who has a birthday to celebrate. So what we would do was typically just get a lot of booze, get some decoration, go to one of the picture-perfect beaches that we had around the resort, make a bonfire, and I mean, what better place is there to celebrate a birthday than on a top-tier beach in an area where you get to enjoy probably one of the best sunsets in the world.
Have a birthday!
And if we felt like a bit more of an adventure, we would just go for our own staff fishing tours, which meant we took out the mule or we took out the troop carrier and just had the best time going fishing with a most of the time really adventurous ride along the way.
I haven't caught any fish, but I did rub myself with mud.
See, that is great. I love it.
Thank you.
But apart from these things and plenty of fun and cracking jokes in our community area, you also get to do some big hitter activities for a relatively cheap price when you work at a place like Eco Beach. For one, there is whale watching. This is of course what I did as well.
How excited are you?
So excited.
Let's come to the last and probably my most exciting activity that I did at Eco Beach. I'm not gonna lie, it was still pretty expensive and not one of the typical activities that you do on a backpacker's budget, but I just had to do it, and of course I had to bring my camera. But enough of that now, let's talk about how can you secure a job like this for your working holiday. Well, it's pretty simple. These kind of places, resorts, hotels, retreats, they need seasonal workers every season. So they will put up ads to find those people. What you want to do is you want to scout the platforms where these places put their job offers up. So in the case of Eco Beach, they recruited quite a few people through Facebook ads. So you want to go into Australia Working Holiday Backpacker job groups on Facebook. But also, look on Gumtree, look on whatever platform there is. There are so many backpacker job platforms. Or simply just look at Seek or something like that. And this is pretty much how you will eventually stumble over a job that sounds really interesting and where the job description also fits your skill set. And just ask yourself the question honestly, does your skill set, does your CV match the job description? Because if you lie about your skill set on your CV, you will be called out eventually at some point. So if you have only limited front of house or restaurant experience, don't say on your CV that you have been a restaurant manager. If you have a bit of experience in a kitchen, don't say you are a chef, because your skill set is actually not enough to do the job that you were asked to do. And then you'll be let go eventually, and probably you traveled across the entire country to get that job and you actually counted on having that money saved. And last but not least, if you want to hit a financial target while working in a job like this one, ask a couple of questions when you have a job interview. Ask about how much the accommodation and the food costs will be if food is included. If not, just figure out yourself how much you spend on food on average per week or fortnightly or monthly, however you want to calculate it. Because calculating your expenses on food and accommodation gives you a rough ballpark number about your fixed costs, and that helps you so much to determine your financial target. And then also ask about your hourly rate. What will you make per hour, or if you are on a fixed contract, what will be your fixed fortnightly or monthly income? But especially with the hourly rates, if you either have the financial goal or you have to tick off the 88 days, stress to your future employer that it's really important for you that you get guaranteed 38 or 40 hours, because this is what you will need to have your 88 days ticked off, but also this is what you will need if you want to hit a specific financial target. So in my case, I pretty much wanted to save about $1,000 a week. I knew I had to work at least 40 hours a week, and if I wanted to have more money to spend on groceries on activities or on cocktails and beer, I knew I had to work at least 43 to 45 hours a week to have that money and still be at my goal of saving about $1,000 a week. Alright guys, that's it. That's a wrap to this video. I hope with this video I could inspire some of you finding a job like this one on your upcoming time on a working holiday visa in Australia and probably have the time of your life while saving a big bunch of money.